How's it going, everyone? Sinister of the Gamer section bringing you another review. And today's review is Icarus Console Edition for Xbox Series S and X and PS5. Earth's basically on life support and everyone was desperate for a backup plan. Enter the Icarus and humanity shot at their new home. The idea overhauled the new planet, so they fired up this gigantic terraforming project stretching out over decades and hoping to turn Icarus into someplace you could actually live at. At first things are promising, but then out of nowhere everything started falling apart. The air turned poisonous for humans and the animals were supposed to thrive but mutated into far monstrosities I definitely wouldn't want to run into. So while everyone thinks Icarus is done for, some folks are sticking around for the reasons they're exactly not sharing. Let's start with the visuals. The lighting and the weather effects really steal the show in this game. Storms roll in and out with the kind of drama you don't always want to see, and when the sun sits over the dense forest of Olympus, it looks fantastic on the latest consoles. And now in performance mode, the goal is to hit 60 FPS, but most of the time the game hangs around that mark, but especially when you're wandering around through the woods or spinning across open ground. Things get choppy or frame rate wise, the distance to the 50s when the action ramps up, like when the environment gets especially chaotic. In quality mode, on the other hand, locks in the frame rate at 30 frames per second. No, this is on the Series X version that I'm reviewing. It really sharpens the shadow detail on all that lush vegetation. Xbox Auto HDR support is a nice bonus, but it makes those light effects shift, to stand up and more. Caves lit up like glowing plants and jet black night scenes look way more intense compared to the standard display. Over the presentation is overall good here. Icarus is a P vs. E survival session game where you drop in as a prospector from an orbiting station on a devastated terraforming alien planet. The aim is to gather exotics which are unique alien resources, combining basic survival mechanics such as gathering, crafting, and more. It differs that you take on extremely high-risk missions, which you also gotta weigh the decision. Either level up your character or gather up those resources on the cloud, because this planet fights back, which means is the atmosphere itself will kill you. And the wildlife will also going to do the same. The hazards like forest fires, lightning strikes could destroy your entire base in under a minute. So, when you return to orbit with your required exotics, which are used for high-tech permanent unlocks and talent tree upgrades, whereas over several sessions, you evolve and barely surviving the Stone Age tools used in savagery, so a fully kitted electronic equipment operative are capable of taking out targets with firearms. And so basically, if you like games like this is right up your alley. One of the biggest drawbacks of playing Icarus on the Series S is clumsy adaptation of its PC format using the controller. It's plain that this game wasn't designed with a console in mind, and the differences are night and day. The interface feels like I'm dragging a mouse cursor all over the place with my inventory and building blocks, taking unnecessary time for doing simple things. It would take under a fraction of a second with a mouse versus a controller. And the console version feels clunky. When it comes to the fighting, it's without an aim assist or locking on to the enemies like the wildlife, it's non-existent and it becomes annoying, and you're probably going to see that game over screen real quick. And finally, the performance mode is inconsistent with the frame rates that will occasionally bog down during major events. Icarus needs some major patching to perform better. For that, I give Icarus the Console Edition a 2 out of 5. Thank you for tuning into the best place of independent gaming journalism, and that is the Gamer section. Be sure to hit like button on the video, and please subscribe to the channel.